Hi, my name is Lori Dotson. I am the mother of Damian Dotson. I was born in Houston. Stop, yeah. Yeah, okay.
I just laid it anyway.
And that could be the last thing. And I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Boom. And then we can move on to that.
Yeah, but I need to say South Park.
Oh, yeah. Oh, say it now.
Yeah. They got to know, because it's hard for our little kids. You know what I'm saying? So they need to know where we from.
My name is Chris Gaston, born and raised in Houston, Texas. CEO and founder of Family First Sports Firm.
I'm like, wow, like this could really happen. By the time you're 16, like I was drafted at 19, so it was 3 years away.
I didn't really follow the hype.
It was like, whoa, what am I looking at?
I think I was in like 6th, 7th grade, and ever since then, man, he just took me under his wing.
I didn't really talk about whether my son was gonna go to the NBA or not.
We just didn't have it like that, but you know, he came out, sacrificed.
I didn't have a pot to piss in, man. I mean, I was dirt broke.
You can't go do another free workout because we don't have any gas.
Family first, as you can see, the fist, you know, represents empowerment.
I was an only child, so growing up it was just me and my mother. So when I went to high school, Sterling High, I met my best friend Pam.
Lori and Pam have been friends, and they played on the volleyball team together.
We played volleyball and basketball together, and I don't know, something just clicked with the both of us, and she is my best friend, now my sister for life.
I called Pam my other daughter. We have been close all along.
She had a big family, so basically we would spend Christmas and Thanksgiving with them every year.
Pam's father adopted Lori and me and Travis, the whole family.
When I met Chris Gaston,
I can't remember when I first met Chris, but I mean, it's like he's been around all along.
Like I said, I was in Pam's family. They had a big family. Every Sunday we going to Old Sea House, we eating. I've been knowing Cecily since she was a little girl.
Chris started dating my cousin, Cecily.
So when Chris came along, it was just genuine.
And he came to our grandpa's house, OC. And I mean, Chris was a basketball dude. He loved basketball. He came in there talking about basketball.
So that was perfect. That's what they talked about.
And Chris has been an excellent role model, not only in basketball, but in terms of life also.
My wife, she called me. She was living in Atlanta at the time. She was my girlfriend at the time. And it sounds weird saying girlfriend now, but she was my girlfriend at the time. She called me. She says, "Hey, my little cousin plays basketball. You should go check him out."
You're young and you have a family member playing basketball, you think that everybody is the next best thing, right? So I'm like, oh my God, my little cousin's amazing. He's great. He's going to the NBA, which he was, but that doesn't always mean that. But I felt that he was really good. And I called Chris, and Chris was like, okay, I'm gonna go see him.
From the stories I hear, Shade made a call.
He said, go support him. I'm like, this at the time now, you know, I was Mr. Super Trainer and working with every player from A to B.
She called Chris and told him to come check me out at Woodson Middle School.
I said, sure, why not? I went to go check him out.
I think I was in like 6th, 7th grade.
He was in the 7th grade at Woodson Middle School. I'm like, this guy's pretty good. He's a pretty good player. I'm not thinking NBA or none. I'm like, you know, he's a pretty good player. So I started working with him.
I guess he was like, I'm gonna work with him. He got something. We gonna create something. I don't know what they said, but it was something they did together. It was something Chris just went to my little brother and just started naturally working with him.
And ever since then, man, he been around, took me under his wing.
It wasn't no business move. It wasn't nothing. He just went and helped him work on his game because my little brother was just mainly doing it by himself.
So then when Chris was going, you know, doing his basketball thing, he would come get Dame all the time.
When Chris got with him, the work he was already doing was just more organized. It was more all around. it was everything you needed.
After that, I've been with him ever since.
Start training him, start come picking him up. We working out every day. He goes to 8th grade, pretty good player. Then his freshman year, he ends up going to Madison, my alma mater. So he's actually a freshman while Tommy Mason Griffin is a senior. So when I'm working Tommy out, I will always bring Damian with me. And Tommy and the other guy like, nah, he gotta sit to the side. He gotta sit this one out, Gas. And like, they was like, but man, we telling you, Gas, you know, you looking at this guy, Gas, and your little cousin, he gonna be a good player, man. He can play. But they would never let him get on the court with them. They was like, he can play.
Damian was mischievous. Lori kept him in line, and I was there for support.
When Dane was like at Gregory Lincoln, first, second grade, Dane was a terror. The teacher called me every day. I had to go to the school every day for him, for something.
Let Lori handle the discipline because, like I said, he was a handful. But he wasn't a handful at home. It was just when he was away from home that he was a handful.
One day, Dane got in trouble, and the teacher called me. And I used to work right around the corner so that I'll be in vicinity with them at any time. And so she called me one day, and she said, Damian in trouble, blah, 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 blah. So I, mad, because I got to leave my job to go get him, had my belt, walking on campus. And the lady said, well, ma'am, you can't bring that on campus. I said, oh, okay. So I must have put it up or put it in my purse or something like that. Went and got Dane, and we left. Took him to the corner store. When I got in the store, I said, sir, you may hear him screaming and hollering, but that's okay. I'm finna whoop him. So we went in there in the bathroom, whooped him, took his butt back to school.
We stayed outside. I mean, early in them days, it was competitive. You play the game a lot. It's still the same, kind of like, but it was mostly like outside. High ball, football, you play anything. I mean, we played basketball and all type of stuff. We played basketball in baskets, crates on the trees, sock, close the door a little bit to the wall, throw the sock in there. We did a lot of stuff.
On our street, it was a lot of boys. And there was a guy that would take Travis and Damian and the little ones to the park, play basketball. He even formed a team. It was like the South Park Bobcats or something like that. That started the basketball, football, playing on the street and all of that. Well, once Dane got a little older, Dane started playing Little League football, Southside Cowboys.
I remember him playing during the summer, and at one point he was playing both football and basketball.
Since he already had friends that played basketball, that's a lot what they did. So actually, I thought he was gonna play football for sure.
Growing up in Houston, single parent household, I mean with my mom, my brother, playing at the park. Had to play outside. My bro played they played in the big gym, so we had to play outside on the court, like out front.
It was like one incident where like he was outside trying to play, and they wouldn't let him play. I'm in the big gym. I'm probably like middle school, but I'm playing with the grown folks. So I mean, it was like a little incident. He got roughed up a little bit, I guess, or pushed down or something. And he came and was like, hey, this happened. So I just went out there and I, you know, talked to dude because I knew him. He was kind of like my age, but he didn't really know that was my little brother.
It was all a learning experience. Eventually I made my way inside, started playing with the older guys, and that's when I figured out I liked playing ball. You
had to get some respect. You had to get some type of respect. You had to have some type of name to play. So the Parks was just, man, the Parks was training. The Parks was training. Like the Parks was something you can't get everywhere in every gym. You ain't getting no foul. You can get slapped in your mouth. They ain't gonna call it. So I mean, it was just a good environment though for basketball.
So I went to all my bro games. So I seen Daniel Gibson all the time, Harrison Smith. I remember watching like Tommy Mason Griffin A lot of guys, DeAndre Jordan. I can go on, but for sure I remember watching D. Gibb all the time because my brother went to Jones, and that's the high school Daniel Gibson went to, and I watched all his games. So that was one of the guys I looked up to. T.J. Ford. Man, the list goes on in Houston, of course, but that's some of the main guys.
I first met Damian when he was in the 6th grade. I had already coached his older brother, Travis, and Damian was looking for a team. So they came to me, and he was a very athletic kid, very quiet demeanor, and the relationship just grew from there. I gave him a chance, and he gave me a chance.
I remember Coach Gibson because he coached Travis with the Houston Hoops, and he was just the dad of Boobie Gibson. So for Boobie being in the NBA, that was good for our neighborhood.
Boobie, they're from South Park. So to see somebody come from the hood and rise to the NBA, that gave, like, man, if he can do it, and, you know, he'd come by the barbershop and get his hair cut, then that gives Damian something to aspire to. So that was like, just that alone. And those guys didn't move out to the suburbs and, you know, in the country somewhere. Those guys, you know, Mr. Gibson stayed right there in the hood. So he was someone that was accessible and that we, you know, we easily seen all the time.
And Coach Gibson was just a cool dude. Like, he gonna talk to you. He gonna let you play your game. But he know what you can do. So every time you go out there, he gonna want you to do it. So, I mean, he just try to, I guess, push you to your highest performance. I mean, I love Coach Gibson.
Damian's game when I first met him, he had no game. He had a big heart and a lot of speed, athleticism, jumping, but he didn't understand basketball. And unfortunately, but fortunately for him, he was the biggest guy on the team. So he had to play center, which in the long run helped him become a better rebounder than most guards that he has to go against today, and defend bigger guys, made him tough. And he took on the challenge without a problem.
He used to come get Dame, and they go to the games or go to practice or whatever.
Me and Damian, as he grew, we had a special relationship because I was the one who picked him up every day and took him to school, took him to practice, all that good stuff. So we were more than just basketball players and coach. So when he went to Madison, I was kind of a little leery about it, but so was he. He didn't stay.
With Coach Gibson, he was my coach from, like, I want to say maybe like 9th grade to like 11th grade, and then we transferred from D. Gibb to Houston Hoops. So he believed in me, because I'm sure he made some of those calls like, yo, he need to be on this team, because we had a lot of guys that was big time players. So I'm sure he made some calls. It was like, yo, Dotson need to play on this team.
I saw that Coach Gibson saw something in Dame. You know what I mean? Coach Gibson saw something in Dame that maybe a lot of people didn't, because, like, Dame didn't grow up with a father figure, so say. So Coach Gibson helped him a whole lot, and maybe personally as well. I wasn't in those conversations, so.
He was always good. He was just small. My other brother was real little. He had hit a growth spurt. When he hit the growth spurt, it was like, you would look at him and you'd be like, man, because he was little, so he played guard. He could dribble, he could shoot, but he was just little. So when he got some height with him, it was like, yeah, this could be a little scary right there.
Over to the 8th to the 9th, Dane got a growth spurt. 9th grade, we go to Madison, and he plays basketball there.
He played his freshman year at Madison, you know. Sophomore year, he ended up transferring to Yates High School, which is a famed school in 3rd Ward.
At Jack Yates, their coach was Greg Wise. Greg Wise coached my child, Travis. So we already knew he was a good coach and what he was about.
Greg brought out something that I couldn't bring out. And Greg brought out the fierceness, the toughness on defense, the attitude, all that. I got the skills in, but Greg brought out the Damian you probably see today. They were meant to be.
When Dame was in the 9th, they won state. He was going to Madison. So the 2nd year he was there, they won state. So that was 2 years in a row that they won state. So at that time, Yates was a big school. Everybody talked about it.
Everybody was going to watch Yates play. It's not, you had to watch Yates play at least once. And I told him, like, yo, I used to watch you in high school. Before I got in high school, like, obviously I'm a different kid from then and now, but I definitely used to watch a lot of these guys from the Houston area in high school.
So he had to sit out from playing varsity because of the transfer rules. So he had a really great year as a sophomore on junior varsity.
So 11th grade, moved up, played pretty good, very good. They went to, they lost before they could get to state, so that kind of hurt them. 12th grade, Dane was better. Now during this time is when he was playing AAU during each summer, playing AAU with Chris.
Doing our thing, you know, picking them up every single day. We're working out every single day. One of the hardest workers I ever met. He eventually played varsity his junior year, and then the summer after his junior year, now my sense I had my AAU team. And it was hard for me because I'm like, damn, I want him to come play for me, but I couldn't be selfish. He wouldn't play for the Houston Hoops, you know, on the Nike circuit.
I took him with me from my personal team, D-Gibb Hoops, to the big circuit, the Houston Hoops hoop. And we played national basketball, top of the line, top 24 teams in the country, all D1 athletes.
We went to the EYBL, we went to the Peach Jam. I think we had 2 games against like big time players. It was like on the main court. Coach put me in, I come in, hit some shots, play defense. Man, I probably played like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes or something like that. After those 2 games, I started getting all type of calls from coaches and letters to the school. They was calling Chris, they was calling my head coach at my high school, calling me, calling my mom.
And he had a great summer.
But when he didn't play with the Hoops, he would come play with my team, my local team, Houston Preps. And we took him up to New York, this big tournament up there, Rumble in the Bronx.
And I think Dane wasn't really playing good. And Chris said he had to get on him. I was like, might as well, you know. And I think Chris was like, boy, you need to come on and play. You ain't playing right or something like that. And they called me and told me he got on him and he played good.
I remember he hit the game winner. And you know, when he came play with my team, he was able to play point guard all 5 positions. You know, really work on his game. That summer, he really blew up.
Going into my senior year, I had all the confidence. So I was just, you know what I mean, I was just playing off that. I had coaches coming to watch me, so they even motivated me more. Practice, after practice, I go work out with Chris. So I was just working on my game at that point. At that point, I knew the next level was what I was focused on, and I was ready to get ready for the next level. I had signed to Oregon, I think, already at the beginning of the year, so I was already ready, preparing myself and getting mentally ready to play on the next level.
When he was in high school, it's a lot of hype around names. It ain't necessarily hype around they like their games, like what they doing. It's like a lot of hype around names. And that's how it was when he was in high school. If you had a name, I mean, you was somebody.
His senior season was off the charts because he had the confidence, he had the game, Greg had his intensity up, and I was just so proud of him, the way he handled it, because he handled it with a lot of humility and just took it as it came.
He was killing them. There wasn't nothing they could do with him, but I mean, and I think he won like Player of the Year that year. He won like everything. He won like almost, you know what I mean? So it'll just show you, like, I mean, so I think somebody used to say hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard.
You know, he really blew up to become one of the top players in the state. And we went up on the visit to Oregon. We liked it. Coach Tony Stubberfield's a great guy.
Chris Gaston went to with Damien to Oregon on his visit. And I told Chris, just don't let him sign while I'm not there. He can come back and do it, but if he want to, no. I didn't go because we had homecoming. And down here for us, homecoming is big. And I tried to tell them on a different weekend, but you know, they like to schedule on a football weekend so the guy can come look at the football and see, you know, how the college is.
I went on a visit to Colorado, I went to Texas Tech, and I went to Oregon.
And at the time I was like, golly, you know, because he ended up picking that school. So I kind of was like, dog, I should have been there.
And so he ended up committing and signing to the University of Oregon.
I'm not too sure about how people felt because I don't really talk to a lot of people. So I had my friends that was proud of me, my family that was proud of me, and everybody else didn't matter because I didn't associate myself with them. So everybody around me supported my decision, and who didn't, I didn't know about that. So I wasn't interested in that.